I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
More
You
No
podcast.
Today I want to discuss some aspects of moving towards lasting happiness that are discussed in Super Brain by Deepak Chopra and Rudolph Tanzi. At the end of the day, lasting happiness correlates directly with making your own reality. And if you create your own personal reality, lasting happiness will follow. And when creating your own personal reality, there's some do's and don'ts to consider that I now want to discuss, starting with the do's. You should give of yourself, take care of others, and care for them. You should work at something you love. You should set worthy long-range goals that take years to accomplish. You should be open-minded. You must also have emotional resilience. You should learn from the past but put it behind you and live in the present. You should plan for the future without anxiety, fear, or dread. And lastly, you should develop close, warm social bonds. And now to discuss the things to don't do. First, don't hitch your happiness to external rewards. Don't postpone your happiness until some time in the future. Don't expect someone else to make you happy. Don't equate happiness to momentary pleasures. Don't pursue more and more stimulation. Don't allow your emotions to be habitual and stuck. Don't close yourself off from new experiences. Don't ignore the signals of internal tension and conflict. And lastly, don't dwell on the past or live in fear of the future. And I do want to mention that in our consumer-driven society, it makes it really easy to fall in these don'ts when you're trying to create your own personal reality. And this is because so much of the consumer-driven society is surrounding external rewards and temporary pleasures. But with this being said, by being aware of these do's and don'ts, you put yourself ahead of 90% of society when it comes to finding personal happiness. And along with these do's and don'ts, there's 6 more considerations that must be kept in mind as well as applied to your life in order to find permanent happiness. And these are to connect with the natural world or nature, to focus on being useful, to exercise your body, to find work that satisfies you, to focus on fulfilling your life purpose, and lastly, aiming beyond your limited ego self. At the end of the day, lasting happiness is connected to balance as well as feeling that you have a complete life. And being aware of as well as applying these will allow you to have a more complete life. And lastly, there's one more consideration in order to have more lasting happiness in your life. And this surrounds inner and outer work that must be done to benefit your life. And it can be looked at as providing the proper nutrients to your mind. And if you don't, your mind will be malnourished and it will be hard to maintain happiness. So I want to go through the inner work, which is something that you have to do personally, and then from there the outer work, which is something that you have to do more externally. So with the inner work, first you need to make sure you're sleeping enough. And for virtually everyone, this is 8 hours on a standardized schedule, which means that you go to bed and wake up around the same time every night, and it's of 8 hours of length. You also need to have focus time, which is time where you focus on personal growth. Then you also need to focus on time in, and this is time to be introspective and find perspective. And lastly is downtime, which is time spent in relaxation. From here, there's 3 things you need to do that are considered outer work. The first is physical time, where you take time to work out and exercise. The next is playtime, where you find some form of recreation. And third is connecting time, where you connect with your friends and family. Understanding that you must create your own personal reality that's complete and well-balanced in order to create long-lasting happiness in your life, as well as applying the do's and avoiding the don'ts, considering the additional 6 things that you must be aware of and apply in your life, and lastly doing the inner and outer work that's necessary, you will no doubt have long-lasting happiness that will last years and years of your life. And along with this, you're going to be better balanced and have a more fulfilling life, as well as connect better with others. And with this all being said, you'll no doubt find success in your pursuits, and these will translate into a life of significance.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
More
You
No
podcast.